perfect all the time. You really sure
No,
about this?
I am.
Don't we-
I am here to take that burden off of parents and people
You mean I can
everywhere.
let go? I don't have to be perfect. I can
Yes,
just be myself.
correct. You can be
Oh,
yourself.
this is so
It's okay.
liberating. I feel
Yep.
liberated already talking like that.
Good.
So, what should I do instead? I need to be present,
You just
right?
need to be present.
So we
Yep. You
do
need to
have,
be in the here and now. Yep.
exactly, we do have our little visual here that I love to bring up every single time we start our meeting. It's so important to be here and now. And that is, again, stop being perfect, because there is nothing you can be perfect. What is this perfect scale?
No.
Who created this perfect scale, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What you think is perfect for you isn't for somebody else. And so why try to figure it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And who created this invisible scale we're all measuring up to? And I've been asking people to show me their perfect scale. Like, I want to measure
Yeah.
against it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so invisible, I can't see it ever. No one has shown me one yet. Have you seen one yet?
No, it doesn't exist. It's
Doesn't.
a it's something that's way out there that we're not ever meant to attain, so how can it be on a scale?
So it's almost a conditioning, right? That we are
Right.
conditioned to believe that we have to set ourselves at a highest bar that possible, and we need
Right.
to reach up to it, and we're not even able to, and then we feel like a failure. So it's almost setting ourselves up for failure. The perfect bar it
Right.
never existed. So I'm so glad you brought this up. But we do have to
Yes.
bring ourselves here and now. So have you been
Mhm.
thinking about the past?
Um, Trying not to. I try only to look at the past in a way that will help me move forward. So I know I can't change anything, so I just need to kind of let it go and let it stay in the past.
Yeah. And I've been at this event since yesterday in San Diego, downtown San Diego. I'm attending a networking event with a lot of high end profiles, like published authors,
Oh,
entrepreneurs, really big
fun.
names that done so much stuff in their life, accomplished so much to advise people who are growing and coming up what they can think, right? And
Right, right,
one of the things that repeats is being here and now, like taking the lessons.
right,
Every successful person talks about how much they took the lessons and moved into the present to do something about it. They've never said, I
nice.
sat with my past and dwell in my past and I replayed my past and I got to be
Yeah.
successful in my life. No, have you ever heard a story like that?
No, no,
No.
not at all.
The more we spend so much time in the past, there's no production. It's almost reliving it, something that already
Right,
happened. We're not creating anything. So when we're not creating anything, we're not moving forward.
right.
Doesn't matter what age we are. Young, it could be a young kid as a 5 year old or a 70-year old. It doesn't matter. If we're not creating anything, we are stuck somewhere else. So a lot of the time, it's the past. So today,
Right.
I have to say, I'm so proud. I didn't have any seconds to think about my past because I was at the event.
Yes, and you were present
I was so
at
present.
the event.
Yes.
That was something I had heard in a business meeting I was in Florida for once, and a lot of us were moms and entrepreneurs and stuff, and just how we feel divided in our time and stuff. And that speaker said to look at our feet, and we thought that was a little weird, but we did. We looked at our feet, and she said, "This is where you are. You
Yes.
have to be where your feet are. When you're a mom, you're doing mom things, that's where your feet are. When you're doing work, you're at work. That's be where your feet are." And that has stuck with me over the years, that I can't be worrying about all these other things. I need to be where I am now so I can make the best impact I can now. And then
Yes.
when I'm at somewhere else, that's when I can be in that moment and be with whatever the people, the situation that I'm dealing with. And so that's a big visual I carry with me, is my feet. And I have a picture of my feet in different places, and I'll look at those every once in a while too, just to remind myself to be where I am. I can't be everywhere at once.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I never had the opportunity to think because I had to be present. And I also
Yeah.
have I also have to talk to a lot of new people, so I have to be
Right.
present. I can't be like, oh, let
Right.
me think about my past here because I'm I need to think about my past at this moment. There's
Right.
no moment like that. So that's why I think if you're thinking too much about the past, I was thinking today while I was there, it's almost important that you have to connect with people and get into conversations because conversations make
Mm,
you present,
right.
right? Because you have to connect. I cannot be thinking
Yeah.
about my past when I'm
Right.
connecting and communicating with someone. They'll know because
Right. Because you
you'll
won't respond correctly.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll try now. I'll just demo it with you, Melissa, Coach Melissa. Like I'll just think about
Yes.
my past and you just ask me
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Tell me more about your day, Kohila. How has it been?
Oh, it's really good. Hmm.
Yeah. Can you tell me a little more? What's been the best part so far?
I just met some people. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But
Your
if
answers
I'm
are really blah.
flat,
not
like flat,
not
right?
descriptive at all.
No, because
Yeah.
I'm thinking about my past right now, as I was telling you. But now ask me again. How was your day, Kohila?
Hey, Kalila, how was your day? I hear you're at this awesome conference.
Yes, it was amazing. I met some amazing people. I have to tell
Yeah.
you, like I met the people who created the UGG boots. You know, the guy who
What?
created the UGG boots. Yeah, he launched it, and who created this amazing with Tiger Wood. He created the
Yep.
golf outfits because they were so boring. He created his uh, own line of creation. These creators,
Wow.
all these creators, they were up at the stage and they were saying how there was a moment where they thought they hit the rock bottom, but really they didn't hit the rock bottom. They hit the rock foundation.
Oh,
So they redefine what rock bottom is. So for
wow.
entrepreneurs like us who are up and rising and getting
Right.
to the next stage, they said it's not ever rock bottom, it's the rock foundation. Because when you hit the rock bottom,
Mm,
that becomes your foundation. And I believe in that because I've hit
yeah.
rock bottom several times in my business.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I'm like, okay,
I
those are
like
all
that. I have
foundations.
never thought of it like that before.
Yeah. That's why you have to
Yeah.
surround yourself with people, not with opinion, but counsel who have done stuff like that, right? Who have
Right.
done big projects like that, who are leading big projects like that. So then you
Right.
get to redefine and shift your view because all of us always say we hit the rock bottom.
Right.
Really, that
And then we
rock bottom
stop.
becomes your
Yeah.
foundation. Later on, that is your foundation. For me, it is already a foundation. I know a lot of
Mm,
things that happened to me in the past has become a foundation, right? See how I'm
right.
interested in telling you what I
Yeah.
learned because I'm
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Makes
Yeah.
a huge difference.
Yeah. So you can tell the person who's listening to you can tell when you're past thinking or in the present
Right.
and now. So, yeah. So the
Right.
only thing you can do with the past is learn the lessons, right?
Absolutely.
That just pick up the lessons and let go of the past because there's no time to waste. If you have
Right.
wasted enough time, this is the time to stop wasting in the past. So the another place that we go in the future, right?
Right.
So I could have
Yep.
listened to all these, all these successful entrepreneurs that are talking to me on the stage and went into the future thinking, oh, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could
Yeah.
make that a foundation because I've been a fail. I could have done so many things. And then I could have projected the past and start looking.
Right.
So again, future is available to us, but we can't spend too much time producing it because we don't
No.
have control over it. So
No.
we,
It's good to look forward and to make goals and
you know,
um,
set
dream, but you can't spend a lot of time there. You got to be working to get there. You have to be moving forward to take the steps to reach those. So,
yeah. So always coming back to that, what's my next step? What's my next
right. Right.
move, right? So if game life is a game, what is your next move?
Right.
That's
Yep.
present.
Just the
So
next move.
what's the next move? So the future is available to us, but we should not be creating it because we don't have any control over it. Otherwise, we would be all creating our own futures, right? So
Right.
obviously, that's very evident that we cannot create our future. That's in the hands of someone else or whoever you believe in. That's in their hands. So why don't we just bless it and release it and say
Okay.
that whatever is available to me, it will come to me when the right time is there. So when I do
Right.
those two things, I'm able to be present,
Right.
and
You're
that
able to be
present,
right here.
yeah, and that present creates flow. believe it or not, that's the state of flow because you feel peace. You
Yep.
can feel the peace in that moment, right? And that's
Hmm.
the moment anyone can learn. And if you're an adult, you're still learning. If you're a child, you're still learning. If you're
Yeah,
grandma, you're still learning. Grandpa, you're still learning. Why? Because we're always learning until we die.
absolutely.
Something to be learned every single day from everybody that we meet, every interaction we have, we're learning. And then that's where
Yeah,
we can live because we here and now is the only place there that's peaceful to live, right?
correct.
If I'm doing any of the other things, I'm not in peace. I'm like I'm
Right.
torturing myself in the moments, right? So when being here, you're able to live in peace and harmony. And then guess what? When you learn and live in harmony and peace, you can lead your life and those you're
Yes.
responsible for in peace and harmony. So
Yeah.
it feels like flow and effortless, and you start enjoying life,
Right.
pushing and
It makes a
forcing.
huge difference. It
Yeah,
really does.
it does. So that's what we want for you. So are you able to bring yourself right now, here and now?
Mm, absolutely.
Yes. I hope you're
Yeah.
here. How else do you get yourself to bring yourself now and here? Is there any exercises you do?
I do a lot of breathing. And I know lots of the coaches say that, and I
No,
used
but
to
it's
roll my eyes when people would say that, but I do. I try to take a really deep breath down from my toes, all the way up and really hold it in and then really slowly let it out. So I don't always do counting. Sometimes people will count for so long. I don't necessarily count. I just really try to take that really deep breath and think of it rising up through my body, holding it, and then slowly exhaling it out. And that really helps me to be grounded in where I'm at.
yeah, and we have to talk about breathing. We all love
Yeah,
to think that there's some kind of big, grand, tool that someone's going to deliver to us that's going to make a biggest difference. No, your breath makes the biggest difference.
right,
We cannot
right.
tell you how much your breath will change
Yeah.
your state.
And we take it for granted. We just breathe because our body is able to do that. Our miraculous body can just breathe on its own. But if you're not consciously thinking about it, you're
Yes.
just doing shallow breathing. You're not really fortifying your body and being where you are.
Yeah, absolutely. So have you taken a good breath today? I know you've
I
taken a lot of
have.
breaths. I'm asking the
I
audience,
have.
have they taken good deep breaths? I don't know. Because
Yeah.
we learn to do like that's how we're living our life so shallow, right? Because
Right.
we're so busy.
Right.
We tell ourselves we're so busy. If you're a parent, you're busy. If you're an entrepreneur, you're busy. If you're a mom, you're busy. If you're a sister, you're busy. If you're a daughter, you're busy. It just seems like busy has become our identity.
Right.
And
Right.
it,
It's
yeah,
like it's a race to be won or something. I don't understand. I see lots of parents feeling like they're, um, trying to be that perfect parent, have the perfect family, ideal, whatever. And they're just running themselves ragged. There's just not enough space to do that, and I wish parents would be able to take that time to breathe and take back and say, I don't need to be thinking about all of these things, or I need to bring myself here now and not be so emotional about things I can't control. They either already happened or they haven't happened, to be present and to get rid of some of that stress they put on themselves because they're overloaded and they're overwhelmed.
exactly. So let's do some breaths so that we
Sure.
can bring ourselves to here. So which one do you like? Do you like four in, four hold, four out, or what's the best one for you?
Yeah, yeah. I usually breathe in like 6 and hold for 3, and then I just blow out really slow. And I don't count because if I count my breath on the way out, I get all like, am I going to hold enough air in or not? So I just let it go out really
Yeah,
slow. So
that's something we
in
want
for
to talk.
6,
Yeah.
hold for 3, and then just out.
And it's also like, don't worry about the counts, right?
Yeah.
Even like
Right.
sometimes I can't hold it because I'm also
Right.
talking a lot of time. So I'm not
Right.
holding the breath. So if you're doing it with me, it's not about the count. It's about how you feel.
Yeah.
Have you felt
Yeah.
the depth of your breath? Have you felt the holding of your breath? Can you feel the exhale when you're doing it? That's all. It's all about the feeling.
Yes.
Who cares about the
Right.
numbers? Those are just there to guide
I
us.
agree.
Yeah, so don't worry too much about it. So let's do inhale for 6 is what you said, right?
Okay. Yep.
Lots of air. Inhale for 6. Keep going. Okay, now hold for 3. And then we can exhale for 6. Let go everything you had. Okay, let's inhale for 4 or 6. Melissa says 6.
Yep.
And then hold for 3. And then let go everything in your shoulders, in your back, everything through your mouth. Let it allow yourself to just release, like really push it out. Don't hold it. You don't
Right.
need to store anything. Storing doesn't
Mhm.
help. Letting go
Right.
helps, right? So we got to let it
Right.
go. Okay, let's do it again. 6, inhale. Let's take a lot of air from the beautiful earth. And hold for 3. And then let it go for.
Mm.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It shifts you, right? Just
It
shifts you.
does.
So
You
today I
can't
want
be anywhere else,
to
you know?
know you have to be here. That's the thing too. You have to be here. You cannot be in the past or the future when you're doing this type
Right.
of practice. And that's the beauty of it. Yes. So
Yep.
today we want to talk about you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. We just modeled something you can actually do to be in present.
Hmm.
Here's the thing you can do. So, Melissa,
Yep.
when we say regulation, what does that actually look like in real life for parents? Because the regulation
Mm.
is so much in
Right. Right. Well, like we said, it's not perfection. So that's what it's not. We're not going to be perfect. We're not always going to be in perfect regulation, but a regulated parent um, pauses before they react. They don't let their reaction take over. They pause, they breathe, they notice themselves, how they're feeling, and let that lead the moment. Lots of times, regulated parents they'll talk softer, slower. They'll be more down on the kid's level instead of being clear up here. They'll they'll get down to their child's level. And then when they're not perfect and they make that mistake and they can feel themselves being all, they can admit to their child and say, "Hey, I'm not feeling great right now. I need to take a moment." And it helps to teach their child what to do when their child's feeling unregulated.
Yeah. And we can also talk about perfect teachers, right? When we try to be
Right.
perfect teachers as well, we
Yep.
uphold high standards. We put ourselves under so much pressure and
We
we
do.
think there's some kind of scale that we're measuring up to. And then
Right.
eventually it all comes down to anxiety.
Right.
Because every time you make your nervous system and your whole body, all the systems feel like you're not doing enough, you got to get to it, you have to do this and that, you're
Right.
just going into into down into dysregulation all over
Hmm.
your body.
Right.
Everything is coming down, crashing in negative thoughts, right? That's when the negative
Right.
thoughts come. You're not that
Yep.
good, you're not that good of a teacher, you're not doing a good job, you need to do more, of course,
No.
right? So it can happen to both, and it can happen to any adult.
Absolutely.
It can also happen to
Any
any app.
adult in any realm. Absolutely.
So what are you seeing right now with parents that people don't talk about?
Mm. I think there are the parents, they're more in survival mode than they will admit to anyone. They're keeping it together, they're doing all the things, but they are really overloaded and they're still, out there trying to show up and do all the things. And think they need to start talking about that more. I think parents need to be more open with their friends and the parents on the ball fields that they're sitting next to, and be vulnerable and share just a little about how stressful or overwhelmed they are, so that we can normalize it and that more people will talk about it, and then more people will be able to, help each other, or won't be so embarrassed or ashamed to get help.
Yeah,
I think,
we both been parents, right? We both been parents.
yes, yep.
My children are grown up now, so they're not children anymore. But I've been
Hmm.
there. What is it that would have stopped me or stopped you from sharing? It would be probably that I will be judged as a bad parent, right? If I tell
Absolutely.
them anything about my child directly, the other parents always judge, and we need to
Right,
end this culture where judging other people needs to stop, because you don't know what goes
right.
on in their home to judge anything on your parts. Yeah, your kid might be
Exactly.
I'm very happy for you, but that's not how my household is. So there's that judgment. That's why I wouldn't have said it.
Right.
I would act like I'm
Yep.
perfect. I would have to
Yep.
act like I'm perfect. My
They're
house is
ashamed, they're embarrassed. Yeah, because of that judgment they fear coming from their peers.
yes. And what else? What else? Why do we hide as parents? Why do we hide and pretend like we're okay when we're not okay? And why do we not reach out to people anymore?
I think it really is that judgment piece that, one, they don't have time because they're doing all this other stuff. So they don't have time to reach out to their peers like we used to, and do things with other moms or parents or what have you. Um, but they don't want that judgment from anyone. They're like, let's just see if I can keep up this perfect facade
Parent.
for as long as possible.
Yeah. And also, they might judge my kid too, right? Not just judge me, but
Right.
they might also kid judge my kid as
Right.
bad kid, or not smart kid, or capable, right? All these
Yep.
things are against me as a mom. I want my child to be known as capable, smart, and intelligent, and
Yep. Yep.
well-rounded, and go-getter, not someone who's
Yeah.
lazy, who's unmotivated. Because if I share any of
Yeah.
that, other
Who
person,
causes problems,
yeah,
who
who's delayed,
screams at their mother.
yeah, who's
Yeah.
delayed in their academics or fallen behind. I don't want any of my friends or my people to know. Well, if you
Right.
can't tell somebody, that's when you know they're not your real friends.
Right. Right. They're not worth your time.
If they're real
Yeah.
friends, they should be someone you could talk to
Yeah.
openly, and they would not judge you. So that's another thing that we have to understand, is that not all friendships are equal. And if you're
Right.
feeling the pressure to be perfect among them, then you're pushing yourself too much as a parent too. And
Yeah.
you're not true to yourself, right?
Right.
And another
Right.
thing I learned this week, profoundly, I learned this week, is respect is something that you give yourself. I used to think
Oh.
that respect is earned, like I have to, other people have to respect me. The minute I
Yeah.
respect myself, I command respect from others around me. It's automatic,
Wow.
because
Yeah, I
I,
like that.
yeah, I practice this because I'm at an event. I'm practicing in
Yeah.
real time. When I felt respect, I respect myself and I feel respect
Yeah.
towards me, other people are automatically reciprocating it, which
Nice.
was not something I knew before. I used to think
Yeah.
they need to respect me. I need to do something to be respected. So I was
Right.
chasing
Right.
respect. You don't
It
chase
needs to
respect.
be earned. Yep.
No, and
Yep.
also it needs to come from within. The minute
Right.
you feel it within, respect is automatically reciprocated, because it's not produced by them, it's produced by you. So that's why we can
Mm.
go deeper to the self-worth, right? A lot of the
Right.
time
Right.
we respect with our self-worth. So when you have self-worth in alignment, that also happens. So that was something that I learned just this
Wow.
week.
Thank you for sharing. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that's big, right, for a lot of us.
Hmm.
So if somebody in your life feels like judging, they're not your kind of people.
Yeah. Yep. You don't need them.
Yeah, that's not a friendship. That's something you might have to think two times before you tell them something. Then
Right.
there's something about that relationship that's not in alignment. You're just holding on to it for, I don't know, whatever reason. You might want to investigate that, right?
Yeah.
So why
Definitely
do
need to look into that.
Yes, 100%. Why do children respond more to our state than our words? So we think that as parents, we can just say things, right? Get our kids to listen by saying things. Do they respond
Right.
to our words or our state?
No, no, definitely to our state, to that whole being of us. They pay attention to, um, they feel us, there's that emotional connection to, and you have it with anybody, but it's super strong with a parent and a child. And they read our tone and our pace of our words and the tension that they feel. And if they're not feeling safe, they're not going to hear what you're saying. They're really in tune to that a lot more than we give them credit for.
Yeah. And let's model, like, I'll be your parent. Melissa, you didn't do
Okay.
your homework. Melissa, can you do your homework? Come on. You got to get this done. And I've given you so much
I'm
time.
busy.
No,
I'm
but
not doing it.
no, no, no. You have to do it because this is your job. This is the only job you have. Come on, think about it. What else do you
Why,
do? You go
why
to
are
work?
you yelling at me?
No, no, no. I'm just trying to have a
No,
conversation.
no, you're not. You're yelling. I can feel it and I can hear it in your voice.
No, I just want you
You're
to think about
yelling.
it. I want you to think about it. Think about it. Have you done anything besides going to school today? No. Is
That's a
everything?
lot.
Yeah, but have I provided everything for you? Yes. Only job you have is to do the homework and get it done. And it's over. I don't know why you make every single day a big deal. Why?
Because I just need to rest and I just need some quiet. And you just keep yelling and you're in my space.
Yeah. So as you can see, I'm trying to logic my way through to my daughter, Melissa here. My daughter, Melissa, doesn't have any of her logic on in her brain.
Going. Mm-mm.
Nothing is on to have any type
Right.
of logic in her brain. And I'm trying to be very logical and I'm very calm. And she thinks I'm yelling, but I'm not. I'm very calm right now. But
Yeah.
that's how children see yourself, right? When you start
Right.
negotiating or when you try talking to them about something when they're not ready.
Yep.
So as parents,
Exactly.
we have to think about it. Are they ready to listen? Are they ready to comprehend? Are they
Yeah.
in the state of readiness and the learning
Right.
state for them to even
And
learn
what
and
is my connection right now with my child?
yeah, she thinks I'm
How's
annoying her.
that right now? Is that good? Are we connected? Have we had time together, where we've been able to be together and just fun parent child stuff? Because if you're not having that connection time, when you try to go to correct them, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
They're like disengaged. They're like, I'm not important to you any other time. But now when you need me to do something, you think I need to be that I should view you as important and listen and all of that. And that doesn't happen.
no. So 100% quote Melissa says my daughter will not listen to me. So there's no logic here. We can say I mean talking to her in logic and she's not understanding what's wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with her. She's just
Right.
offline. She just don't want to listen to you because she's not in the state to learn. And you think she should be like a machine who's turning on a switch. Like, okay, I
Right.
turned on the switch to not to learn. That's not how humans work, and that's why we are in
Right.
the state where we're
Yeah.
in
Right.
because we think we have a switch. We don't have a switch.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, so what does being in the present look like?
Mm.
What does
Being
it
in
look?
the present means being being there, like physically, mentally, and emotionally. You're right there with your child. Um, you're not letting distractions come into the way, and you're really listening, like we were talking about before. Um, and you're
So
you're just right
how
there.
can I be present with Coach Melissa as my daughter in this situation? How can I be present with you? I could say, I see Melissa that you
Hmm.
are not ready and in place to do the homework at this time. It seems like you need something else. What do you need at
Right.
this moment?
Right. Right. Yeah, you can definitely say that. Like, okay, this is feeling really hard right now. I'm here. Let's figure this out together. Let's do it one step at a time.
Yes.
As parents, we
So
need to
it's your
be
option, right?
slower.
Didn't that make you, when I said what do you need? Didn't it
Right.
make you feel like you got understood and you felt hurt by me?
Yeah. And you felt seen, that I'm right here. You do see me, and you're,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I have the authority. I'm your mom, so I could say, Melissa, get to work. I can say that.
Right.
Melissa,
Right.
it's time for work. Melissa, I want you to do the work. I can raise my voice all the way to the highest pitch and yell at you. Will
Right.
never, nothing will do anything. But if I say to you, I think you need something else, what do you need?
Hmm.
I don't think you're ready
Or I
to.
see you haven't started your homework yet. What's going on? You're
Yeah, what do
usually
you
on
need?
top of that.
So
Yeah.
asking you what you need, doesn't that make you
Hmm.
empowered to tell me what you need? And you can say, I need a
Absolutely.
break. I need a break. Or you can tell me, I just had a bad day. I
Right.
just need to breathe. I just want you to
Yep.
leave me alone for next an hour or so, whatever. You're
Yep.
gonna say, I need something. You're gonna say something, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
it's
And then
important to help teach our children how to do that, how to advocate for themselves to say, this is what I need. Because so often, this is when kids fly off the handle and start yelling or throwing things or crying. And that's because they haven't been taught how to advocate appropriately for themselves to say, I had a hard day at school. I just need a break. Or I tried to do my homework, but I got stuck and I don't know what to do. And now I'm feeling dumb and I just need a break from that, that kind of thing. So it's really, I think, important, as parents, we've talked a lot about them being regulated, but then also communicating that more than just modeling to their children too. Like, well, what does that look like for your 5-year old or your 8-year old or your 15-year old? And verbalizing and modeling that to them instead of, so they have those strategies so they're not just flying off the handle yelling at you or throwing things.
so it makes the parenting easier when you allow the child to feel like they've been seen and heard from
Right.
what they're saying instead of just yelling. And some people might be listening to me going, oh, that sounds such like a gentle parenting or permissive parenting, all
Mm-mm.
sorts of parenting. I don't have a name for this. I just know that whatever you're doing, you're syncing the nervous system with my daughter or son. That's the first step, is to sync
Right.
that they're confused or they're not wanting to do the work. Sync your nervous system to that connection, saying
Right.
this person is not doing this because they don't want to, they're disrespectful, or they just don't care, or they're just lazy, plain and simple. They're just lazy and unmotivated soul. Instead of putting all of those layers on top and then viewing the child or a person through that, you just say something's going on here. Let's figure out what it is. What is it that is
Right.
going on? It's curiosity. At this point, I'm so curious why
Absolutely.
my child or why this person is doing this for me at this time.
And yeah, and besides being curious, it's like, then you have to shut up and you
Yeah.
have to close your mouth and
And leave
sit in
me.
that silence so that they have time to think. They have time to process. They have time to feel safe. You know, I see parents that I try talking to them, but they don't ever say anything. Well, they're firing questions at them, being curious, but they're not pausing
Yes.
to let their child catch up, to take that time to process and think and, um, yeah, dig deeper into it.
Because a lot of the time I want to fix it. They're
Yeah,
my child. I want to help them. I
we
want to fix
do.
it. I want to move forward. I want to go faster. I want to get to the next milestone. Because when we have
Yeah,
children, it's all about the milestone, right? If I don't get to the next milestone, what's wrong with my child or what am I doing wrong,
right,
right? These are expectations placed on us. Like by
right,
month 12, this needs to happen. Month 18, this needs to happen. Month 24, these things needs to happen. If it doesn't happen, there's something wrong with my child. So
right.
now I'm panicking. This is not working.
Yeah, yeah, we
Like my
put way too much pressure on that. Yeah,
Yeah, my son never walked until he was 2 years old almost. Like he would take
yeah,
steps and then he
yeah,
would not let go anything. He would be standing paralyzed. And everybody would be like, oh, how come he's not walking? How come he's not walking? He's two, he's two, he's two. I said, he's planning his next step. I would always
he's
say he's
figuring it out.
planning his next step.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
because that's how he looked in his facial expression.
Yeah.
I could see him calculating, if I take this step, will I fall or will I walk? Like that's what I saw in his eyes and his face.
Right.
So I said, he's just calculating the next steps. It's okay. Let him
Right.
calculate until he takes it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So some
We
people
have
might,
to look at our children as individual human beings, and those are all just guidelines. It's not, no, yes, if there's a huge discrepancy, yeah, there might be something wrong, but just because your kid's not walking at
too.
this day doesn't mean they're behind or they have something wrong with them. I used to say that in kindergarten all the time when I was teaching. The parents would ask if their child was behind. I go, your child can't be behind. They're 5. They're right where they need to be. It's just like just take them where they are and keep going forward. And I don't care if you are reading in kindergarten or not. And maybe you're just learning your letters. That's okay. That's where they're at. And it's not going to do any good to stress out and stress them out to reach a milestone
And
that
have
somebody
you,
arbitrarily decided.
yeah, and have you like tried to teach a child for so long something and it was so hard for them, and one day they
It
just get
just went
it
off.
because like
Yeah.
something clicks and they just get it and they just do it so faster than
Yep.
ever before, and they're like, what happened for the last 8 months? You were like so stuck,
Right.
and all of it
Right.
because they were not ready.
No.
We keep forcing them to learn something when they're not ready, and the
Right.
minute their brain gets ready, they just go
They
like I
got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And a dad just told me that he took his son to swimming, and his son was not getting swimming for a long time. Like he's just kind of
Mm.
was having a hard time. And one day, he was just like a water baby. Like he was just swimming back and forth, like doing
Yeah.
laps. And he's like, "What happened on that one day?" Because something clicked for him.
Something clicked and he was ready.
Ready
Yeah.
to do it. He was ready. He figured out what this is, and that involved also intrinsically he was ready to do that motion of
Right.
in the water, right? Whatever that he may
Right.
know, it makes sense to him. So sometimes these milestones also pressure parents, right?
Absolutely.
Because there was a lot of
Yep.
parents who told me, I don't know, if I were you, I would take X-rays of your son's legs and see if they're okay. I said,
Oh, but he was standing and he was taking some like stop. Stop with all that.
so, but if you don't have like me, I was kind of cool with it. I'm like, if he doesn't walk, we'll figure it out later, right? Kind of cool with it. But if you think about it, it could produce a lot of stress on a parent,
Oh
right?
my gosh, you could have become one of the parents that's going to all these doctors and all these specialists and complaining that they don't understand and they're not listening and seeing you. And yeah, yeah, one of those that wouldn't be good.
And my son always been someone who, even to this day, if you ask him a decision, he'll think of it in 5 different angles before he takes it. So there's that thinking process he goes through.
Yeah.
And same
Isn't
thing
it
with
awesome that you can see your
the
son
thinking,
at 2
and he's
and now
taking
at 20, he's doing the
brain
same,
steps in
you
his
know?
brain. And I know
Yeah.
his face when he does this thinking brain. I can see
Yeah.
the turning his
Yeah.
brain up, turning
Yeah.
the brain is turning to think. And I'm like, yeah, he did that with his first steps, first few steps. He
Yeah.
was thinking so much that he didn't want to fall that he had to plan it out exactly how he's going to calculate the next step. And
Oh, I
that's how
love
some
that.
kids are. Some kids are like that. And some kids
Yeah.
are risk takers. They will just step and see, oh, I failed. I
Yeah.
will calculate it again. And that's fine too. Either way, it's
Yeah.
fine. And some people are in between, right?
Right.
Everything is
And
fine.
it's
There's no,
really hard for the parents who are one way and their child is the other, and they just don't get it. I see that too a lot. So,
so what
yeah.
happens in homes where parents are overwhelmed but trying to hold it all together? So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh. Stress. There's lots and lots and lots of stress.
Breathe,
And
right?
yeah,
Breathe.
they're not breathing. They're not taking in all of their environment. When we're coaching, we always look at the whole environment. So their home life and outside, all of those things. And when they're overwhelmed and stressed, they're not taking into consideration anything else. There's not good connection between the parents and the children. Um, yeah. And then they're just trying to hide that distress and it
Yeah.
becomes normal. And it's not. It shouldn't feel like that. Shouldn't be normal.
And if your child is feeling any anxiety or overwhelmed themselves, guess where they're getting from? It's from
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
That's one thing we know for sure
Absolutely.
is from you. Because whenever you're not in sync with your nervous system and your regulation, your whole systems, it actually shows outside. I don't know
It
if you have
does.
children who ever asked you, "What's wrong, mom?" or "What's wrong, dad?" And then
Right.
you would lie and say everything is fine, and they're like, "No, son, I don't think so, mom. Something's wrong. Tell me what's really wrong." And you're like, "No, everything is fine." And they're ask again because they're so
Yep.
much
Because
drawn.
they're in tune. Yeah.
They
Yep.
know.
They can feel that.
Yeah. So it's better not
Yep.
to lie and say, you know what, I am going through something hard. You don't need to explain every details. You can
No.
say it
No.
feels
Yep.
overwhelming, but I'm here for you and I'm trying to work
Yep.
through things. I'm here
And
for
this
you.
is what I'm doing to try and work through it,
Yes.
as appropriately as it is for that child,
Yeah.
because that's showing them how they need to regulate when they're stressed out and having a bad time. We
And
just don't talk about it. We do a lot of things, and you can have super regulated parents and who do all the things, but then that's a problem if they're not sharing with their child how they do it, because children grow up thinking that then their parents are perfect. Well, I can't hold it together like mom does. I have all these big feelings and then they try to hold them in until they explode. And it's like, no, mom has those feelings too. Mom's just learned how to regulate them and how to put them in a box if she needs to for a little while to focus on you. Or, she does all these other things. She's going to bed earlier. She's taking a walk. She's breathing. She's doing all these things, but the kids don't put that together
yeah,
with being regulated and calm and holding it together. So we need to tell our children, I'm going
yeah,
for a walk because I'm really stressed out right now. And
yeah,
when I'm outside in nature and I'm exercising, it helps me to be more present and to calm down. Or I'm taking a technology break because the internet's stressing me out with what I'm seeing. So I'm shutting it off and purposely choosing to do something different. We need to be having the conversations and sharing with our children so
yeah.
that they can learn from us. And
Isn't that the
maybe
great
they
way to
figured their
model,
things out before. What was
right?
that?
Isn't that the great way to model it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Just doing it yourself will show them that, oh, when I'm overwhelmed I can take a walk, when I'm
Yep.
overwhelmed I can do this because mom did it. Isn't that the best way to tell them, instead of holding it and saying, no, nothing is
Yep.
wrong, I'm perfect,
Yep.
no,
Yep.
everything is good, I'm perfect, I'm perfect. We're not showing them anything to be modeled
Right.
to. I mean, they're gonna have to hold the, but who's perfect? No one is
Right.
perfect on a
Right.
given day. Right? Every
Yep.
child, every parent is going through so many emotions and so many things. So why would we just say, I'm perfect, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine?
Yeah.
I'm
Yep.
not fine. I should own up to it and say, you know what, I'm not fine. I'm gonna take a break. I want to go for a walk. Do you want to come with me or
Hmm.
I'll go? And then they know that when you have a problem like this, like when mom feels overwhelmed, she goes for a walk. And the next time I feel overwhelmed, I'll go for a walk.
Right.
Just,
Right.
just like that, right? So it's actually a great way to role model to your kids too. So holding it
Absolutely.
together. What is holding it together? Let's examine holding it
Mm.
together. So holding it together. It
Yeah.
feels so
Holding
hard.
it together.
Holding it together feels like I'm tied up.
Yeah.
Every part of me
Or
is
you're
tied up.
walking a tightrope and you're about ready to fall off. Yeah.
That's what it feels like. I don't think anybody should be parenting or teaching in holding it together. It means that
Right.
you need to relax, you need to let go,
Yeah.
because
You need to slow down,
holding it together
get
and parenting,
softer. I
they don't.
notice the more I get elevated, my voice gets a lot louder and I talk a lot faster. So then I have to consciously think and bring my voice down to a quieter volume and slow it down.
Yes. Yeah, holding it together is never good for you or the
No.
anyone who you're leading in life. We always lead our kids, right? Other people as
Right.
well. So really holding it together is not good. So I would challenge you holding it together with, what are you holding it together and why are you holding it together? And
Right.
what would happen if you don't hold it together? That would be the third question I would ask you.
Right. Right.
What would happen if you just let
What's
go?
going to happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what will happen? Just kind of go down that little rabbit hole. And mostly you'll figure out that it's not going to be that bad.
Yes. It's not.
Just let it go.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, have you ever seen your own state reflected back in your child, like when you had your children younger?
Yes. 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 My kids are older now, but definitely can look back, especially with all the um, training and learning I've done in the last 2 years. I can look back and see how I escalated our home a lot growing up with the kids because I didn't know any better. I wasn't paying attention um, to myself, and then that would just spiral. But even recently, I notice it in the car when we're driving. I'm not a great car rider or car driver. I have this weird fear, and my 17-year-old waited to learn how to drive for a while, and he's also kind of an anxious driver. So I noticed if we're in the car together that I really have to hold it together. Talk about holding it together, but I have to make sure I'm regulated and stuff. And I'm just breathing and I am not tensing up, because when I start to do that, then he gets really anxious and he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? What am I doing wrong?" And I'm like, "You're not doing anything wrong. It's just me and how I react." And so I have to make sure I'm keeping those reactions, calm and stuff, because it's not going to do any good for me to be, "You almost hit that curve," or, "You took that corner too fast." That's not helping the situation if I do that. So I really need to make sure
I think
I stay regulated.
that driving with your kid first time when they start driving would be a good place to practice your reactivity,
Breathing.
breathing, reactivity, and giving instructions,
Yes.
and staying calm and
Yes.
patient, and and, and holding your life at the same time would be
Right.
that experience. Yes, yes, and hold
Yep.
feedback. Sometimes
Mm,
I'm not, because it's also associated with fear, right? Because what if they hit? What
right.
if they what if they get into an accident? It's constantly running through your head. You're not in,
Absolutely.
you're not in control of the
Right.
wheel. That you just gave the wheel to somebody who you
Yep.
always thought to be a young person. Now they're in the wheel, behind the wheel, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is
Yep.
yeah. So they know when you get into that state. So I would suggest that in the beginning stages, for me, I did not help my son learn how to ride.
Mm,
And including, I don't coach my son some in many things because because I am his parent, right? I'm his
right.
mom. There's always
Yep.
this different, like with other people's kids, I have different tolerance, patience, expectations.
Yes.
It's so more
Yep.
chill and relaxed, and I'm a coach versus this is my son. Something about that. So I would
Yep.
always recommend that if you can do a good job, that's great, but it's usually not. It usually is
Yeah.
different when it comes to your kid. It's always different. Why do parents feel embarrassed to ask for help? Why is that parents don't want to ask for help? And if they do ask for help, it's usually like even on social media, right? We see it on
Hmm.
so many groups. Parents ask anonymously, right? They don't put their name.
Right.
It's fine. You don't want people to know what you're going through. That's fine. But the thing is, there is something that's hiding us, right? Making us hide
Right.
behind the things that we don't want to show our names. And also, we get like those posts. I what my problem with those posts in the social media is that there's like sometimes a mom would put some kind of question about their family or the kid, and
Hmm.
there's like sometimes like 20, sometimes 200 comments or 300 comments. Now, if I read 300 different versions of stuff people are telling me about my son or daughter and myself as a parent, you know how much
Hmm.
destroyed I will be if I read all of that?
Right.
Because these are many of it is our opinions
Right. Yep. It's a lot of opinions, that's for sure.
and
Yeah.
judgment.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
behind your, anonymously you put it, but then you know who you are and you're reading all of this. I think
Right.
that makes you more stressed than ever before. To me, it will be more stressful. And anger too, because some of these comments are very rude.
Yes.
We think
Yes.
young kids write rude comments to their parents. No, there are
Oh, adults do.
write rude comments on social media too. So
Right.
so how can a parent put something about their family without judgment, without harsh messages, and then read all sorts of message and say, okay, what should I do now? Wouldn't you be more confused than where you started after reading 200?
Probably. Yeah.
So where should they
Yeah.
return to, Melissa? Should they return back to? Is it to
Well, they
another
need
place?
to return back to themselves and to their circle, their village. I think that's something that's gotten lost in the last few decades or so. It's families have lost that connection with other families. I know when my kids were growing up, we had four other couples and we'd get together once a month
Yes.
and we would play games and cards and then the kids would go off and play and it was great. We did like a potluck, or we got to the point where the whoever was hosting did the food for that month or whatever. And it was so nice to get together and be able to share. We were safe in our little group of friends and we could relate to each other. Our kids were all the same age. And I just don't see parents doing stuff like that anymore. They're running off to all these activities for their kids and they'll be sitting next to peers, other parents that are just like them, but they don't talk to them. They're on their phone. They're yelling at their kid or the coach because they're not doing something right instead of building that community. And I think parents really need to start taking some time to be brave and make that community that they need. So, invite one family over to your house for dinner one night and build that relationship and then bring another family in until you have a circle that you can be brave with and not have to be anonymous and only get a couple opinions that you're able to actually use and think about instead of scrolling endlessly between 200 to 300 random posts of people you don't know because you don't know if their values are like yours or what their situations are. But if you have your own little circle of people, that's who you should rely on and look to for support.
Yeah. And let's talking about support. Let's talk about when you're looking for support. I know on online and stuff, some people don't like looking for that in person. A lot
Right.
of things have been burned out by people saying and promising, I'll do this, I'll do that. So right now there's this sort of avoidance, right? I'm not going to get
Mm,
help because I don't know what's good. And it's just like the other person who said, I will do it. Because everybody uses great big words, right? I'll
right.
deliver transformations. It'll be
Yeah.
transformed in this many days and all this stuff, right?
Yep.
Um, but you cannot, as parents, we cannot say that I tried it all, and you cannot give up on your child. So you have to find the best for them. And until you find the best,
Right.
you research. You got to do your
Yeah.
due diligence and research. What is this? How does it work? And that's why we
Right.
do lives. If you're a parent listening to us, that's why we do these lives, so you can see that in real time how we are who we are, and what we do is what
Yeah.
we do, and this is how we serve. And Melissa has a coaching business where she can help you in this depth, because everybody is
Yeah.
at the surface. Everybody wants to help at the surface. That's easy to help, and that's easy to make money from. You just have to say,
Right.
okay, do this, and everything will be fine. And you do that for 10 days, and everything falls back to the
Yeah. Yeah.
place again. You're like, okay, I thought
Yeah. No real change has happened.
no real change will happen until you look at it from the system perspective. This is a living human being. This human being
Hmm.
is recorded with every single day with so many thousands of variables. Everything is affecting my systems internally. I need to get into the state to learn. I need to get into the state of living. I need to get into the state of leading. If I'm not able to do that, then I'll start suppressing and I'll start forming an identity that I
Right.
can't. And however long that identity I carried, comes the intervention that's needed, because identity,
Hmm.
I can't do it. I'm not capable. I can't move forward. You
Right.
can tell them all you want as a parent, saying, "You're great, do it. You're amazing, do it." But internally, they don't feel it.
Right.
It's all external validations. It doesn't work anywhere. It has to become intrinsic from their own
Right.
experiences and where they are. So the only thing you can do for your as a parent right now, what can they do? What is the only thing they can do right now?
I think that they need to pause. I think parents need to pause and notice what's going on inside them and around them. And then ask themselves, what do I need to be present right now in this moment with my family? And I think that would make a huge, huge shift. And then I think that they need to get real with themselves about the help that they need and be okay to reach out and invest in that help. What better thing can you do than get help for your family, for yourself, and for your family to make your house be less chaotic, less overwhelming? I can't think of anything else that I'd rather spend my time and money on than making my home the happiest, safest place for my children, and not worry about what the neighbors are going to think, or the mother-in-law, or whatever. Because if they were all honest, they would want a coach, they would want somebody to be helping them too. And so we just need to really evaluate where we want to spend our time and money and effort when it comes to parenting.
Absolutely. And reach out to us, ask for help. We have lots of free help. We
Yeah.
have free meetings for you to come join us to have some clarity. So, clarity is awareness is number one. Then, out of
Yep.
awareness, you got to create clarity as well. And then, alignment
Yep.
and activation of all the systems. And then you get into acceleration. And then, byproduct of acceleration is always outcome. You don't need to chase
Right.
outcome. Make it a byproduct of all the stuff you do as a
It
parent.
will come. Yeah.
It's a
It will.
byproduct. It's immediate
Yep.
byproduct,
It's not
actually.
a fast fix. It is not a something that's gonna boom change just because you've had a conversation or you've worked with us for a little while. It takes a while. It's really becoming aware.
Yes.
And usually those first few awarenesses are not even close to where we need to be. We're getting there, but we have to keep
Initial.
processing and keep being curious, like you said earlier.
Yeah, curiosity is everything. Awareness
Yep.
and curiosity will take you long, 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 far, 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 far in life than
Yes.
any other traits. And thank you so much, Coach Melissa, for coming. And if you want to
Thank
reach out
you.
to her, she's on all socials, and you can reach out to
Yay.
us, and we will help you to move forward. So don't think that you're alone. You're not alone.
Right.
We're
You're
all
not.
together on this. As parents, we're overwhelmed and tired and busy. That is normal. That's what parentinghood is all about. That is what
Yeah.
we're being. I mean, that's basically what we go through to become the beautiful people at the end of the parenting, right? Because I'm at the end of
Right.
the parenting right now. If I look back, yeah, it was hard, but it was all worth it. It was all
Right.
worth it. And I would do it again, but I
Right.
won't.
Me
I'm older
too.
now. But I would do
Yeah.
it again because I've already done it. But I would do it with my grandkids again. If when my kids have grandkids, I definitely will do it again because
Yes.
it's all
Yeah.
worth it. All kids come into our life to teach us something. They're beautiful. So if you have a young kid, the young child, learn with them, share with them, be curious
Yep.
with them. Don't have to hide your feelings and pretend like you're
Mhm.
perfect. Don't, because they don't need a perfect parent. They just need a present,
They
someone
need a
who's present
present
in their life
parent. Yep.
and sharing with them. So thank you for joining us, and I will see you
Yes.
tomorrow at this time again.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Melissa, so much.
Yes. Thank you.